Hello everyone, I welcome you all in the second video of History Chapter 6, beginning of Freedom Movement. In an earlier video, we have discussed about centralization of administration during British rule, economic exploitation, Western education, and positive and the negative impact of education in Indian society, study of ancient Indian history, contribution of Dr. Bhaudaji Lad and Dr. R.G. Bhandarkar, even the contribution of newspapers too, and newspapers names Darpan, Prabhakar, Hindu, Amrit Bazar Patrika, Kesari, such type of establishment of Indian National Congress. Also we have discussed even the objectives of the INC moderate phase from the 1885 to 1905, is 20 years contribution of the moderate leaders, even the objectives. The special leaders of the moderates were the Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Firoz Shah Mehta, Surendranath Banerjee, and all. Even to cause a split in the national movement, the British implemented the policy of divide and rule. Such points we have earlier video discussed, and today we are going to discuss that is extremist phase, like the extremist phase. See, extremist phase generally started from 1905 to 1920. All Indian leaders who were politically aware kept aside. Extremist phase means phase leaders or the moderate phase leaders all were aware about politically, and there were some differences on the basis of caste, religion, language, province, including the North India or the South India, and gathered on a single platform of Indian National Congress. And because of that, what happened, see, there were unanimous decisions regarding the objectives of the Congress and taking forward the movement by constitutional means, but there were differences regarding the working system. Lokmanya Tilak's image has been given here. He was extremist phase sided, and his contribution now we are going to study. See, extremist phase, these were ideological differences. From these differences, two main political groups were formed: the moderates, who advocated peaceful and constitutional manners, and the extremists, who believed in severe struggle for attainment of freedom. Means moderates, the moderates and the extremists, two groups were formed in the INC. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and the Bipin Chandra Pal were believed to be extremist leaders. And in the early period, means 1905, after 5 or 6 years, the extremist leader for bringing political awakening among the Indians used methods like newspapers, national festivals, and the national education. Kesari and Maratha were the newspapers through which Lokmanya Tilak made severe criticism on the suppressive policy of the British. Kesari and Maratha, most important newspapers, played a major role in awakening in the society. In Bengal province, Amrit Bazar Patrika was a mouthpiece of extremist ideology. Like the three techniques were used: newspapers, national festivals, and the national education. After that, see, extremist phase, by forgetting the internal differences, people should come together and exchange their ideas. Common people should get inspiration from contribution of national personalities. With these objectives, Tilak started organizing of Shiv Jayanti and Ganesh Utsav. For political reasons, if people come together, then government will ban them. But for the religious reasons, if people come together, the government will not ban them, was his opinion. Whose? Lokmanya Tilak's opinion, and he had taken the advantage here. In the Mandalay prison, Tilak wrote Gita Rahasya. Its core was philosophy of Karma Yoga, work is worship, and the stress that people should always be in action. Action is most important. Karma is very important. Work is worship is very important. He had written in Gita Ras as well as other literary work has done. Next one, that is the extremist phase. The extremist leaders established education institutions for creating a generation concerned about own language and traditions. It was the duty of all these leaders to preserve the regional languages, regional literature and the tradition, customs, everything. So they had started education parallel to the English education. The extremist leaders were of the opinion that if lakhs of the people take part in the freedom movement and challenge the British government by struggling against them, only then success will be achieved. They unanimously believed that the movement should be made more severe. Participation of the people made the freedom movement aggressive, but they did not adopt the means of armed revolution, rather insisted for an extensive public agitation. Public agitation was a very important technique and the weapon used against the British power. And the moderates laid the foundation of freedom movement, and the extremists carried forward the movement. After that, seeing in the 1897 in Pune, the epidemic of plague had spread on a large scale. Don't forget this incident. Hundreds of the people died due to it. An officer named Rand was appointed to look after this pandemic and plague. And the plague patients were searched out and oppressive measures were adopted. As a revenge, the Sapekar brothers assassinated Rand. The government tried to connect relations of Lokmanya Tilak with his conspiracy. After being unsuccessful, the government imprisoned Tilak with a revenge, and he had sent to the Mandales, where he had written the Gita Rahasya, named one his literary task or completed this task. But don't forget here, in the matter of plague, the Rand officer was assassinated by the Sapekar brothers. After this, the partition of Bengal, like this incident was a turning point of the Indian history, especially the Bengali people. The British decided to use the policy of divide and rule to create a rift between Hindu-Muslim community, and how they had played the major role as well as a different role here. See, then Viceroy Lord Curzon contributed to it. Bengal was a very large province. To carry out the work of this province was difficult from administrative point of view. By putting up this reason by the Lord Curzon in the 1905, he declared the partition of Bengal province, East Bengal and West Bengal. With this partition, arrangement was made such that majority of the Muslim will remain in East Bengal and the West Bengal for majority of the Hindus. Today, East Bengal is considered as a Bangladesh and the West Bengal as a state of India. The hidden strategy of the British was, if the Hindu-Muslim were divided due to partition, then the freedom movement will be weakened. It was the intention, but the reason was given totally different one, that was administrative matter. Next one, anti-partition movement. The people, Hindu or the Muslim related as well as the national leaders did not sit as it is. There was a public awakening against partition, not only in the Bengal but all over India. And the 16th October, the day of partition, was observed as a national mourning day. National mourning day. All over India, there were protest meetings to condemn the government's decision, oppose the government's decision. Vande Mataram came to be sung everywhere. Vande Mataram. As a symbol of unity, Raksha Bandhan programs were held. Raksha Bandhan programs. And students in large number boycotted government schools and colleges and participated in the movements. With this one, the leadership of this movement was in the hands of Surendranath Banerjee, Anand Mohan Bose, Rabindranath Tagore and such other leaders. What happened because of that? The extent of Indian National Congress increased due to the anti-partition movement. It became a national movement. Means anti-partition movement belonged to the Bengal region, that became a national movement due to the leadership, owing to the severity of dissatisfaction among all the people. The British annulled the partition of Bengal. Means partition of the Bengal decision was taken back by the Lord Curzon, and this decision made to stand still, remain as it is. And because of that, like there some other ways the decisions were taken by the moderates and the extremist one. See the 4-point programs of INC. Gopal Krishna Gokhale was the president of Indian National Congress session of 1905. Don't forget, whenever there was a Congress session, the new president was appointed, and Gopal Krishna Gokhale was the president of INC session of 1905. He supported the anti-partition movement. Dadabhai Naoroji was the president of 1906 session. For first time he pronounced the word Swaraj from the stage. Swaraj. In his presidential speech, he gave the message. What message has been given here? See, that remain united, try sincerely and fulfill the aim of Swaraj, so that today we will be able to save lakhs of people suffering from poverty, hunger, diseases, and India will get a responsible position among developed countries. His message was extraordinary, that had reached to the common people of our country, and they thought that supporting INC will make our country free from British rule. Not only this, in the same session, this 1906 session, the 4-point program. What was the 4 points? See, 1 was Swaraj, 2nd Swadeshi, 3rd national education, and 4th number boycott. Don't forget, this 4-point program was unanimously accepted by the Indian National Congress, and due to Swadeshi movement we will be self-sufficient. Even today's government also is trying level best Swadeshi or making India Atmanirbhar. To follow the path of Swadeshi, we need to bring together capital, resources, manpower, and such other forces, and from these the benefit of the country could be achieved. It was decided that boycotting of foreign goods is the first step, and boycott of foreign rule will be the next step. Due to boycott, we will be able to attack the roots of British imperialism, was the opinion of some of the leaders. Hope that students you understood maximum points after the moderate leaders, the extremist leader, their ideas, even the partition of the Bengal, and the 4-point programs of the Indian National Congress. So students, you have to focus on the points as well as the incident which taken place in the duration of 1905 to 1920. Watch this video again or read a textbook. This carefully, you will come to know that like the incidents, new national leaders as well as new ideas which had taken place during that period against the British. So take care students, take care of yourself, take care of your family members, be socially responsible. Today we will stop here and we'll meet in a third video of this chapter. So thank you very much.